Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Dawn from Flosstubers Stitch. Yeah, I know I desperately need my hair cutting because this is not working for me, as is this is like a tiny bit too long. And it's a hair cutting day, I think today, tomorrow, the next day or something. So I cut it myself because if you go to the hairdressers in Switzerland, just for the normal wash, cut and dry, it'll cost something like $120. I don't have $120. I used to have a good hairdresser where she would actually come to me. I could wash my own hair. She would just cut it and it would cost me like nothing. But yeah, in the meantime she's been pregnant twice, has 2 little kids, has a new job, has moved away, and yeah, so I cut this myself. But it definitely needs cutting because yeah. Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much for everybody who commented on my last Flosstube. It is incredible how nice you are. Flosstube community is really special. It was not a very happy Flosstube and I got so many lovely comments. So early on I didn't expect people to watch it immediately and reply immediately. I was thinking, okay, maybe in 2 days somebody will write, but no. So many of you wrote such nice comments and I had to take time to reply. I try not to take longer than about a week until I reply, but I read them immediately when they come in. So thank you again. Thank you everybody who tried to cheer me up, or who told me I'm not alone, or just said, you know, there's a Flosstube community. We're all out there. We're all there for you. It was really, really nice and very much appreciated, so thank you. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty bright in here. That is because the sun is shining. It is 14 degrees above freezing. Whatever that is in Fahrenheit, I don't know. It's 14 degrees Celsius. So actually it's pretty warm, but as you can see I've got a polo neck on and my Nordic jumper because I've just come from work and I'm cold, but I'm warming up, so yeah. So let's get to it. I noticed this some time ago, that some Flosstubers said they had comments from people that said that they were too quiet, they couldn't hear them, or they had noise problems, sound problems. Well, often I go and watch that person's video and I have no problems. Now I watch only on my iPhone. And I changed some settings on my iPhone because I also had the problem that some people were too quiet and I couldn't get them louder. There is a setting that you can change for your iPhone and probably for your iPad as well, if you watch on your iPad and you have problems with Flosstube videos being too quiet. So just as a hint or something that you might want to try out, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you go to settings, and when you go into settings you can sort of pull it a bit down and you get a search bar at the top. And you type into that search bar, sound check. Just 2 words, sound check. You then get a list and you go onto that list. You can search for something that has a heading saying playback. And then there's a setting for EQ. You go on to EQ and there's a whole list. Now you probably won't know what anything means, neither did I. You just go and set it to late night. late night. Set it to that setting. And volume limit, turn it off. And if you do those two settings, you should have no problems. I've actually noticed that I can turn down the volume on most of my floss tubes that I watch, and floss tubers that were really quiet, I just put the volume up and I can listen to them, I can hear them. So that's just something, I'm putting it out there, so maybe that'll help. Maybe you can pass this information on when you have people who say they can't hear you on your floss tube, but nobody else mentions this. So check out this setting, it might help you, just as a sort of hint. It helped me, so pass it on. I got for Christmas, yeah, I don't know, it was a bit strange, but my mum put this in with my Christmas present, and it's a little tool. I don't know if you can see it properly. It's yes, this is the handle, and the handle is mother of pearl, and this bit is silver, and then it's a hook. Now the hook is not sharp, so it's not got a sharp end, so it's not like for ripping floss out or anything. And my mum said that this always used to be in her grandma's sewing box. So my great grandma's sewing box. This always was in there, and my mum had it when her grandma died. She got it somehow, and it was in her jewellery box, probably because of the mother of pearl. It's been used. I don't know if you can really see that. No, it doesn't focus properly, sorry. It's heavily used. You can see that. You can see that the silver is gone all black, and you can also see wear and tear on this thing. So yesterday I posted in Stitch Mania. I put this up, posted it with a little clip next to it so that you can see what size it is, and just said, help please, I don't know what this is this a sewing tool? And it took about 1 minute for the first reply and another 2 seconds for the second reply, and apparently this was used for closing buttons on your shoes. Yeah, there's actually a whole YouTube tutorial on how to use this. Now, in Victorian ages, women had shoes, leather shoes or boots, and to close them they had buttons, and getting the button through the buttonhole is just pretty impossible. It's very stiff, it's not easy to do. You probably also corseted in, whatever. So you use this and you go through the buttonhole and you hook the button and pull it through. So this was used for shoes, to close the buttons in the shoes. It was used to lace shoes, also buttons on bodices, lacing bodices. I've actually got a pair of those shoes, should have gotten them out, doesn't matter. But I know that I've got a special use for this because I've got a dress that I use when, sometimes I was invited to a gala and you have to have a special dress and whatever, and I can sort of manage to pull the zipper up, but when I get home it's pretty difficult. I can sort of get the zipper down a bit and then so now I know how to use it. Anyway, thank you for everybody who commented on that, because I was surprised. I mean, like I say, 1 minute and 2 people had replied, and then people kept replying that this is for closing buttons on shoes. Who knew? Well, my grandma did, my great grandma did. So anyway, me and my mum, we would never have figured that out. Talking about my mum, don't tell her that I'm showing this, because she would be going, I don't want anything of me on YouTube or anything. So yeah, when I was a baby, my parents were pretty poor, and my mum used to actually sew her own clothes, her dresses, her blouses, her skirts, And she also made her own wedding dress. So for my pram, she made little curtains out of the whale part of her dress. I don't know where that went. She used it for something else later on. She also made a little baby quilt with English paper piecing. There, I've got it. And it's just this quilting part that she did. As you can see, some of the fabric, like here, it's totally worn, because she had a dress made out of that. She had a scarf that was this. She had a skirt made out of that material. So she used scraps that she had from making her own clothes. And she made this English paper piecing quilt, and that was just for the cover as I was a baby in my, I had a real pram, you know, the big pram thingy. There were no boggies or anything, and she made this, and that was enough for then. As I grew older, and I then had a bed, she actually put this whole quilt that she had made, put on this blue, beautiful blue fabric that I really love. So you can see the baby quilt's not that big. That's about the size of it. And this fits on a small single bed. She used this material, she used this for the sides, and the back are my nappies. Yes, my poor dad had to, I feel really sorry for my parents, they had to actually wash my nappies. So she actually put hearts on the back. All my nappies, well, I had more nappies than that. My nappies and 3 little hearts, because, well, the big heart there is my dad, the little heart is me, and a heart down there is my mum. Of course, when she was doing all this was for me, and my brother didn't get one. Also, my brother hasn't got a heart on it. So I knew I had this. I used it, it was on my bed as long as we didn't have duvets, or in the summer when you don't need a duvet. And I knew I had it, but I can't remember where. And at the moment my place is a real mess, so I wouldn't have found it. But somehow at the weekend I was standing there, I knew exactly. If I open that cupboard, in there, behind there, it's going to be there. Got it out and there it was. So I'm really happy that I've still got this, and it's going to be used again because I really love this. And it's a shame to have something so precious that was used every day suddenly not in use. Anyway, so I've got it now and I'm happy about that. So I've told you pretty much everything except for my stitching. Yeah. So I'm pretty slow at stitching at the moment. Not very motivated, as you can guess. Also, I'm a really slow stitcher at the moment because I had this long time of stitchy bug, and somehow it just made me a very slow stitcher. But I'm still working on this. This is Sue Hillis design. It's out of print, but check Stash Unload because or these Stash sites, because Lollipop Stitches, she stitched it. She put up 3 patterns from the series that I snatched up from her site. So it's possible to get it, you just have to be on the lookout because it's out of print, but you might try Sue Hillis directly. Maybe she still has some copies or know where you can find some. This is my progress. and I'm doing it on Ada, and it's something I don't know, it's not 14 count, I think it's something like 12 count or I don't know what. But it's Ada, so I'm doing, it's got quarter stitches and 3/4 stitches in it, but there's no need to do 3/4 stitches when you have a quarter stitch and then a back stitch going over it. So mainly in the peg leg, I don't know if you actually can see that very well. In the peg leg there's so many quarter stitches in there, it looks really messy. Yeah, it looks like a real mess. But I know once I get to back stitching, it'll look fine. It'll look pretty good. But as you can see, not that much progress done. For me it's a lot. But I can't stitch on this in the evening. I stitch 2 times in the morning before I go to work. And I love this needle minder. It's a Mickey Mouse pirate, and it's got a really, the magnet is so strong that it doesn't really matter where I leave my needle, it sort of clunks onto there. So it's perfect. So if you have Vikki, yeah, go and find your pressed coins. Needle minders, good needle minders, made by good friends. Thank you, Shelley. And the other project I'm working on is I'm doing a 90 days of full coverage. Now I'm not showing you the picture again because there's not that much more to see. I'm still working on this bit up here, which is mainly, this is a steam train, and that's the steam coming out. Now what happened was when I started this is an anchor kit, and I could not read the chart. I think I mentioned this last time as well. I didn't understand what the difference was between like this part and this part. It took me quite some time because I haven't got the other notes here, but on there it showed like different stitching types. Like for linen you would stitch like this, and for even Ada you would stitch like this, and it was confusing with the pictures that were showing different types of stitching for linen, Ada, even weave, or even perforated paper or canvas. And they had different symbols like they've been using here. And that would show how you stitch on canvas. And this was more like how you stitch on linen. So when I then saw that this is a colour key, I looked at this and I just didn't quite understand, you know, does this mean for the linen I need to do this, and for canvas I need to do this, but I've got Ada, so what do I use? And then you can see that some of the numbers are actually the same. So I just couldn't work it out. And the top part of, I start up here in this corner. That's what I start. And I knew which colour this is. It's 128 anchor. So I just started 201 Ada, sorry, 18 count Ada. So I started 201 full crosses, and I did quite a bit, and then I realised, okay, I'm reading this wrong. What this means, and you've probably already guessed a long time ago, this is for the full crosses and this is for half crosses. How should I know? I mean, it's an anchor kit, I expect it to have full crosses and backstitch. Because it doesn't mention half crosses in the directions. Yeah. Anyway, so what I did, I used the symbol that was there, and I did, instead of half, I did full crosses with 128. So what happens? You run out of floss if you do that, because I was doing full crosses here. Down there, where you can sort of still see the background colour, that's where I have half stitches. I've done those correctly. These here are full crosses incorrectly. So when I noticed that when I come over here, it's the same as it should be here, but these are half crosses. And now I've run out of floss, and I can't get anchor here, and I'm not going to order 1 or 2 skeins of anchor floss and pay 20 francs shipping. I'm just not going to do that. So I thought, hey, I've got a DMC colour card. One of these. Really good ones. With the 30 new colours in it as well. So I tried checking on the blues which colour would fit. And I sort of found one or two, but it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. So I checked the internet, and the internet gave me two numbers. One was, I think we can got it here. Yeah, one was 775, which is that one, and it's not quite right. It's not quite the same colour. And the other was 3756. That does not exist. Does not exist. Does not exist on my colour chart. So what shall I do? I don't know. So I went and I've got one box of DMC where I just, when I finish with the skein that I've only used a tiny bit of, I just put the skein in the lid box. And I picked out a colour. And it actually matched. And it's somewhere down here, it's 3753. Nobody ever said 3753. So anyway, so I've got the colour that I need, which is the equivalent, but none of the sites mentioned it. Lucky that I had it in my stash and could compare like floss to floss, and that's the way that I found it, because you see the floss comes like this on my colour card, and yeah, so luckily I had one in there, and then found that I had kitted up a project with that colour, and that's where I could find more skein so I can finish my project without having to order more floss, because I made a mistake and it's a kit. Anyway, so that's my progress. Not very much, I'm sorry. But I'm stitching on this every day, and if I only put in 10 stitches, I'm doing it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all the news from me at the moment. I know that lots of people say if you're in a slump and if you can't get your stitchy bug, start a new project or something, but I know that if I start a new project, I'll stop stitching on my Pirate Santa with a candy cane peg leg, and that would be a shame, because I started him for Stitch Mania last year, then I worked on him sometime during the summer, I think, and if I put him down now, when will I finish him? I don't know. But I just think I prefer full coverage to something that changes colour so often. This is, yeah, not really my style. I love the pattern. I love the pattern. I want the finished object. I want it on my wall. It's all fine. It's just at the moment, life's crap. That's just the way it is. But I'm watching Flosstube. I'm getting lovely comments. I'm replying to comments. I'm not on Instagram or Facebook that often, about once a week. But that's it. And I know the sun's shining, so the light is there, but it's not quite shining for me yet. Okay, that's it from me. I'm just delaying finishing this. I think you all know it, how it works. Anyway, thank you everybody who's doing Flosstube and the people who really make me laugh. I was going to shout out a few people, like Slubloverstitches. She put out her first video and it was really, really good. It was long, but it was good. I felt like she's been doing this for ages. She doesn't think so, but I definitely do. Also Connie. I wanted to shout out people, but I haven't even got 400 subscribers. I've been doing this for not quite 2 years now. So me shouting somebody out is not going to get you anywhere. because the people who watch me probably have already found you, because I talk about you with my friends. You need somebody with more subscribers to shout you out. My shout outs don't really help because, like I say, the people I talk to, they know already, because I talk about good people. Like StitchinButton, for instance. Go and buy bags and needle minders and scissor fobs, because she's got an Etsy store. She's got StitchinButton on Instagram, where you can actually see her stuff, and she's also on Facebook. And she's got really pretty much anything that you would like, you can get from her. And her floss tubes they make me laugh. They just make me laugh, and it's really good. And the little thing going on between StitchyWitch42 and Vikki. Vicky's a crybaby and Audrey is a bully. You know that one? It got me through a tough time, and they made me laugh. And anybody who makes me laugh on Flosstube is a good Flosstuber. That doesn't mean that you have to make everybody laugh. I mean, there are good Flosstubers out there who don't make me laugh, but who are really interesting. So if you're really doing good projects, showing me stuff, I'm learning from you, or even if you have life updates that are interesting or whatever. I like so many different Flosstubers. Even if you don't stitch what I stitch, that doesn't matter to me. If I like the person, if I like what you're saying, I watch a lot of Flosstube. I watch Jessie Marie, who does a 1.5 hour Flosstube every week now. Okay, she's cut down to about 50 minutes per week, as she's on every week. Yay, go Jessie. I also like 1.5 hours from Lisa Stitching and Such. I love Andrea, who comes on for quite a long time because she does it once a month. I watch Dina Halfstitch Cross Stitch, who comes on. It's like every day, but then you get it in one dose. It's just, there's so many good Flosstubers out there, and I'm happy to see Mischievous Stitches back. I like seeing Priscilla and Chelsea every week. It's just, there's so many out there, and there's so many new ones, and good new ones. And there was one that was shouted out by 2 people, and I went to look, and she had 6 subscribers. I felt so sorry for her, but I subscribed. I also left a comment, but it's no use me shouting her out, because if you watch Vikki and StitchyWitch42, you've already heard. So you need people like that to shout you out, to get the word out. And I'm just sort of rambling on, so I'll stop now. Happy stitching, everybody, and thank you for all your lovely comments. It really helps to know that you're out there, and that lots of you actually can relate to what I'm talking about. So thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back, and happy stitching. Bye.